awakening to the shifting mindscapes of our new reality. We live in a time of great change, no longer controlled by the fracturing streams of media propaganda. We have the power to bring in this new golden age within the stream of consciousness. Welcome to Stream of Consciousness Live. Welcome, welcome. I don't know why this overlays looks like this. Let me see if I can fix this. How's everyone doing this evening? Let me quickly look at this overlay. It's kind of weird. It's okay, I guess, but I'd rather show the full frame. Give me one moment. How's everyone doing tonight? Give me a comment. Can you hear me okay? Everything good on our end? Let me know. All right, let's see what's going on here. Bear with me one moment. I saw this earlier and I don't know why it changed. Nope. There we go. I see it now. There we go. We're full frame now. How's everyone doing? Welcome to Red Pill Pharma's Stream of Consciousness. Make a quick adjustment here and we'll be off to the races. I think if I go back to where I was, there is a way to change this. Let's go. Yep, that in a different color. There we go. Back to our brand color. Fair enough. That's good. Okay. Welcome if you're in. Let me see who we got visiting here. 5 people so far. Great. Come on in. We want to talk about Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy's visit to Capitol Hill. There has been some information released on that, and I want to read that to you all. Also, wanted to thank Rachel Reenstraw again for coming on to our podcast. Our show here, Stream of Consciousness, on Thanksgiving. That was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys had a chance to see that. If not, it has been rebroadcasted on our Rumble page. Let me put that up so you guys can see that banner. So you can join our Rumble page and catch up on all of our really important videos that we have put out. Let's see. Can you guys hear me okay? I would like to have a comment. Someone let me know whether or not my voice is coming in loud and clear. I want to make sure that the audio is good. I know we've ran into some trouble in that in the past on that. Also, wanted to talk about something that Rachel had sent me, which I found to be very disturbing. It was let me see if I can find it here. It was, here we go. A Substack put out by Dr. Ariana Love. And apparently there is some declassified information of Pentagon being briefed in 2005. And they had a project called FunVax. And apparently this vaccine edits a gene in the human brain that detaches their spirituality from their creator. Scott, thank you. I appreciate that. You can hear me okay. So I'm gonna post. I'm gonna actually copy this Substack into the comment section So when this live stream wraps up, I'd love you to go in and review this. It's a pretty complex article talking about VMAT2 gene. I'll read a little bit of this so that you can get an idea of what this is about. In a leaked video dated April 13th, 2005, Dean Hammer is giving a presentation to the DOD officials inside the Pentagon. This has been mistaken by some as Bill Gates because the guy actually looks a little like Bill Gates. In the video, Dean Hammer reveals his desire to reduce the VMAT2 gene in humans. The VMAT2 gene sits on chromosome 10. The scientific name for VMAT2 is the vesicular monoamine transporter 2, a protein that carries key neurotransmitters such as dopamine and serotonin. These play a vital role in neural activities and social behaviors. Serotonin production is almost exclusively produced in neurons originating in the brainstem, the root of our VMAT2 system. It controls the largest and most complex efferent system in the human brain. VMAT2 controls the main functions in the central nervous system, from sequestering toxins to providing conditions for the release of monoaminergic neurotransmitters, which are serotonin, dopamine, and neuroepinephrine and histamine. Serotonin and 2-dopamine are tiny molecules produced in our brain that make us happy. It goes on, but there is a video in here where he basically breaks it down for the laymen that are in the audience that this vaccine additive will essentially cut off their spiritual connection to their God. It cuts off that section of the brain. And they called it Project Funvax. It's been declassified. So I'm going to copy that so you can watch the video on your own after this live stream. So I'm definitely going to put that Substack in the comment right now so you guys have a record of it. I crunch a lot of different news and I get stuff sent to me all over the place. I'm not able to get to it all, but stuff like this I feel is very important to know about. So there's the Substack. I put it in the comments section on our Facebook page. So if you're watching this live stream from YouTube or Rumble, actually I don't have Rumble connected. So if you're watching this from YouTube, come over to our Facebook page. Feel free to join us, and that information will be in the comments section. Okay, so let me play a video real quick, and I'm going to pull up the information I want to go over with you with regard to this Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon visiting Capitol Hill. So let me get this going and we'll be off to the races. So 1 second. I'm still learning this platform, so you have to bear with me. Apologize. Here we go. I want to play this brief clip of Kash Patel on Timcast. So let's go ahead and move to that.
I think, as a former federal prosecutor and a public defender who defended a lot of these types of cases, what you need to show is whether or not the FBI and government agents were using undercover operatives and informants on the day of January 6th. Because if you can show that, you know they've been out. Hang on. But the paperwork shows having run informants, that's a 6-month buildup. Minimum.
Right.
Minimum. It's not like they just dropped them into the Proud Boys and said, hey, go, don't disrupt, please. So once you prove that, then you defeat the insurrection narrative with the FBI's own documentation. Forget what the videotape shows.
Just for people who you can't see what's going on in the room, the reason why Cash just said hang on or whatever is because I started smirking and rolling my eyes. And what I meant to convey with that is, come on, we know they were involved.
No, look, I totally
let me clarify,
agree.
Though.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I know definitively. What I'm saying is a reasonable suspicion is that there were agents. There's a video showing a guy with an earpiece pulling people into the building. All right. Mm-hmm. You combine that with the evidence of Ray Epps, and it looks like you have a preponderance of evidence suggesting there may have been federal law enforcement involved in making that thing happen.
I'll get you beyond a reasonable doubt.
All
Two
right.
pieces of information. Ray Epps was on FBI's most wanted list one day, and the next day he was off of the FBI's most wanted list. There are only two ways that happens. You die, or your informant. Put that aside. Under congressional testimony, Jill Sanborn, who I used to work with, the head of the FBI Counterintelligence Division, in charge of all these investigations, testified under oath when Senator Cruz asked her, flat out, were there federal agents involved with January 6th? And she said, quote, Senator, I can't answer that at this time. Not if the answer was definitively no, having been a DOJ FBI guy myself, she would have gone there and said, nope, absolutely not. The reason she said I can't answer that is because of the same stonewalling they gave us during Russiagate with Christopher Steele, Halper, and everybody else. It's the same narrative, and I'm telling you they were there.
So you're saying that she said I can't answer that because the answer is yes,
yeah,
and that would compromise whatever their operation was.
Exactly.
Interesting, right? So we know, I mean, obviously, that there was a lot of shenanigans on January 6th. Anybody that had watched many of the live streams that were being taken at that moment can see clearly that there were Capitol Police that were just letting people walk right in. And then there's footage of people inside the Capitol walking through. They're not totally destroying anything. I'm sure that there was some destruction by the agitators, but as far as those that respect law, they were just walking through the Capitol, like taking video, like, wow, this place is amazing. But and yet they were terrorized by our FBI, arrested and thrown in jail for visiting the people's house. Makes no sense to me. I hope that this gets resolved once Trump takes office. But let's get into it, right? Vivek and Elon on Capitol Hill. Senator Mike Lee did a great breakdown and thread on Twitter as to what happened. And I want to go over some of those things that were discussed here. Cole, thank you very much for the kind words. Cole says, very thankful for all the info you put out on a regular basis. I appreciate that. More than you know, trust me, I put a lot of work into this channel. And it's nice to hear people are appreciating the work I'm putting in. Suzanne, Suzanne says, hello from Oregon. Hello, welcome. And thank you for visiting. Okay, so Senator Mike Lee, in this incredible thread on Twitter, which I will also repost on our Twitter channel right now. So if you go there, you'll see it. In a meeting today with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy and Speaker Johnson, Elon and Vivek referred to the fact that because unelected bureaucrats now make most federal law and control much of our economy, we've been stripped of the benefits of our constitutional republic. Noted, the need for Americans to demand accountability for their own governments is precisely why we fought and mercifully won the American Revolution that got me thinking. Throughout Anglo-American history, we've seen a major upheaval in every 75 to 90 years. It's almost like clockwork. Each pivot in American history has been kickstarted by events in just 3 critical years. By my reckoning, those years were 1776, 1861, 1937. These aren't just random years, they're game changers. In 1776, we declared our independence from a large, distant government that recognized no limits on its authority and refused to hold itself accountable to the American people. Sound familiar? In 1861, the American Civil War began, hastening the end of a tragic chapter of our American history when many Americans owned other Americans as property, as slaves, with the approval and protection of our government. In 1937, progressives in all 3 branches of the U.S. government, with one final push from the Supreme Court, dangerously eroded the Constitution's twin structural protections. The vertical protection we call federalism, and the horizontal protection known as separation of powers, all to facilitate FDR's quest to centralize power in the federal government in response to the Great Depression. In nearly 88 years since the Supreme Court opened this era on April 12, 1937, the day the court redefined Congress's power to regulate interstate commerce so broadly that nothing remained of federalism, and indirectly set in motion Congress's now common habit of delegating lawmakers' power to unelected bureaucrats, Americans have lost much of their power to control their own destiny to the people in Washington, D.C. Mike Lee goes on to say, and this is him reporting Vivek Ramaswamy's statements. So it's actually Vivek Ramaswamy, I believe, saying this. We're about to have another one of those years, one that could initiate the reversal of the immense harm that has been unleashed on the American people by their own government, no less. Ever since April 12th, 1937, brace yourselves, because 2025 is shaping up to be the next big pivotal year, only the fourth in our 248-year history as a country. We're on the cusp of setting in motion a new, brighter era for America. This next era must be about reinstating the Constitution's core, structural protections, both on the vertical protection of federalism and the horizontal separation of powers. Congress needs to step up aggressively. It's time to open this next chapter where we, the American people, take back control from unelected, unaccountable bureaucrats who've been running our government like it's their personal sandbox, treating us like their toys, or better said, their subjects. These bureaucrats churn out nearly 100,000 pages of regulations every year. Regulations that not one elected lawmaker votes to enact into law. It's nearly impossible to fire these federal bureaucrats. They enjoy so much insulation from the citizens they govern that King George III, the tyrant whose excesses triggered the American Revolution, would be green with envy were he alive and able to observe conditions in America today. That has to end, and 2025 is the year it must happen. It's time to put the people back in charge. In approaching this daunting but, excuse me, let's see, I just jumped ahead somehow. Pardon me, 1 second. In approaching this daunting but all-important task, we must be looking not just at cutting costs, but also at setting the stage for an unprecedented era of economic growth. Without the federal administrative state leeching off our economy like an alien parasite that's torturing its host and robbing it of its nutrients, we can and will thrive. Think about this. Some estimate that laws imposed by the federal administrative state, generally referred to euphemistically as regulations, cost the American economy roughly $4 trillion annually. That's money that can be and should be in the pockets of hardworking Americans, American families, not wasted on red tape. The DOGE effort led by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy is not about austerity. So I guess this is Mike Lee, my apologies. The DOGE effort led by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy is not about austerity. It's a call for prosperity, the kind of prosperity that's long been stifled by bloated government, which thinks it knows better than its people it's supposed to serve, not to terrorize. Some have suggested that we had never formed the federal administrative state. Our economy could be an astounding 4 times its current size. Imagine the opportunities, the innovation, and the growth. This bureaucratic monster doesn't just cost money, it undermines us, our freedom, our peace of mind, and our popular sovereignty. In a constitutional republic, the people are supposed to have power, not some faceless... I jumped again, sorry. I'm reading these, I'm opening them up and they get bigger, so my apologies. This bureaucratic monster doesn't just cost money, it undermines our freedom, our peace of mind, and our popular sovereignty in a constitutional republic. The people are supposed to have the power, not some faceless agency run by people who can't be fired, even by voters. We need a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, not one in which major questions of law and public policy are dictated by those who aren't answerable to the ballot box. The coming year, 2025, can and must mark the beginning of the end for the current era of bureaucratic overreach, which commenced in 1937. We are talking about restoring the balance of powers that our founders, wise men, raised up by God to the very purpose righteously intended. It's not about shrinking government. It's about making government work for the people, not against them or without them. So let's make 2025 the year we pivot back to the American dream, where government serves the people, not the other way around. We'll see an American where businesses aren't bogged down by regulations, where innovation isn't stifled, and where every American can truly pursue their happiness without government overreach. The time is now to dismantle the administrative state, reduce the regulatory burden, and unleash the potential of the American economy. Remember, this isn't only about less government. It's about better government. It's about government that respects the Constitution and the will of the people. And it's also a reduced government. This new era will be one in which we will see the fruits of our labors, where we can innovate without permissions, and where prosperity isn't just a promise, but a reality. Let's make 2025 the year we remember as the turning point back to the constitutional governance, where the American spirit isn't just nominally free, but truly free and empowered. No cap. This is our chance to redefine America for the better, for freedom and for prosperity. So let's get to work. Let's ensure that the next chapter in our history is written by us, the American people, not by the unelected officials in DC. We've got the power, we've got the will, and now with 2025 on the horizon, we've got the moment. Let's seize it. The haters can handle this frickin' smoke, but we know the truth. America's best days are ahead, and they always will be, when we put the Constitution first and the bureaucracy last. Please join me in the fight. Together we'll make America not just great again, but truly free again. Please follow me if you like to see more posts like this. Now on X, you can follow at DOGE, D-O-G-E, and get updates. I want to hear what you guys all think about that 36 tweet thread I just read you. Please share what you think. Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk and X Jr., Elon's son, were both in attendance on Capitol Hill to speak about these things. And I appreciate you guys listening. That was powerful. That's the first time me reading it all the way through. And I think all of us have always had a hope that our constitutional government would somehow come back into play for the American people, because we see our rights being violated in every direction, at least those that know their rights. And it's impressive to see that Trump received 77 million votes to ring in a new constitutional government and to end the corruption that he's vowed to take on. We have to continue praying for Trump and his administration for sure. And if you noticed today, I posted that Adam Schiff resigned his position because he's taking a new Senate seat. He beat Steve Garvey, apparently, in California to take the Senate seat. So actually, I would rather him expose himself further to the American people. So him taking this Senate seat, he's going to have a tough position going against this constitutional government. And we know he lied, admittedly lied about Trump reading a false statement, a witness statement about his character, which was totally false, made up right on the spot. This guy is a criminal, shifty Schiff, pencil neck. He's got all these nicknames for a reason. Okay, I'm going to play another video for you guys that I wanted to share. This one is interesting. So those of you that are in crypto on some level, Prague has an announcement, and the person leading this charge is going to be coming to America. So let's take a look at this.
Zero capital gains on Bitcoin. Welcome to Prague, the Bitcoin capital of Europe, where Parliament just passed incredible new laws for Bitcoiners.
A lot has changed. So let's recap the new legislation. First, Bitcoin is now taxed the same as stocks. So there is no capital gains tax if you hold it for at least 3 years. Second, local Bitcoin businesses have the right to a bank account. Banks can no longer discriminate against them by closing their accounts for no reason. Lastly, there is legal clarity on MiCA regulation, which is a new vast EU-wide crypto regulation. And then there is the Bitcoin capital itself, the home to many key Bitcoin inventions. The world's first mining pool, the world's first hardware wallet, both Strata mining protocols, the world's leading Bitcoin ATM producer, Bitcoin-backed lending platform, the biggest merchant adoption in the world, and much more.
Prague's future looks bright, so my mission now takes me to the US, where I'll be working on a documentary to showcase the value of Bitcoin mining. So follow me not to miss it. Cheers.
Boom, there we go. This guy wants to bring it to America. That means all earnings in cryptocurrency would not face capital gains taxes when it comes time to pull it out. That would be huge. It would bring more money into cycle. I think more money would be converted to exchange items in the United States, and that just creates more commerce and more wealth. So that could be powerful, and I hope that that happens. As it is, we know that we're being taxed too much. Next, I want to share something, a quick clip that Pete Hegseth, when it's taking charge here in this new administrative role, he is being grilled by media, and listen to how he handles them and what he's basically taking charge, and it's pretty amazing. Here we go.
And I'm proud of what I fought for. I'm not going to back down from them one bit. I will answer all of these senators' questions, but this will not be a process tried in the media. I don't answer to anyone in this group. None of you. Not to that camera at all. I answer to President Trump, who received 76 million votes on behalf and a mandate for change. I answer to the 100 senators who are part of this process and those in the committee. And I answer to my Lord and Savior and my wife and my family. I'm proud to be here. And as long as Donald Trump wants me in this fight, I'm going to be standing right here in this fight, fighting to bring our Pentagon back to what it needs to be.
What have your comments?
Pete Hegseth, man, he's got the cojones we need. And I would have to say, too, most of the people in this administration that Trump is lining up into his cabinet are really strong individuals. And it's exactly what we need. We cannot be allow criminals to push us around anymore. It's over. You know, the media is falling. We are the ones that are stepping up and communicating with each other. And all of us see what's going on. We're not allowing them to shade the truth from us anymore. And you watch the news now. If you've detoxed from it and you come back to watching it and you try to see what messages they're trying to send us, it's very clear that they're using subconscious programming. They're stoking fear. There's always this happy little story at the very end, and it's just like this negative programming, just like constantly being pushed onto you. And then at the very end, there's this soft, subtle little story that's supposed to warm your heart and bring you back down to theta state, right? They put you in this panic, and then they get you in this mental state where you're easily suggestible. And at the very end, they cap it off with something sweet to make it all feel good. And it's just disgusting when you see what it really is. Let's go to the comments. Nothing new here. All good. Okay, you can hear me all right. I appreciate that. Here's the Substack too. I want to remind everybody that I did post that. So if you screenshot it or you copy and paste it from the original post here on Red Pill Pharma on the Facebook page, you'll be able to see it in the comments section. In fact, if anybody's on the channel right now or on this live stream, please go into the comments and like that post so that it rises to the top. I appreciate that. So anybody have any comments with regards to what we've covered so far? We talked about Elon and Vivek Ramaswamy, DOGE, and I read Senator Mike Lee's summary of what was discussed in that meeting and how powerful that was, that the goal is to go back into a constitutional governance and to basically strip away the tentacles of corruption that have embodied our government since 1937, which is very interesting. I do have a couple of their videos I want to share, so I can maybe start one of those now, and then we'll come back for comments.
Last week, Biden administration requested to attach to upcoming CR additional aid to Ukraine, $24 billion. Do you planning to do that? What is your position?
I'm not planning to do that. There are developments by the hour in Ukraine. I think, as we predicted, and as I said to all of you weeks before the election, if Donald Trump is elected, it will change the dynamic of the Russia war on Ukraine. And we're seeing that happen. So it is not the place of Joe Biden to make that decision now. We have a newly elected president, and we're going to wait and take the new commander-in-chief's direction on all of that. So I don't expect any Ukraine funding to come up.
So Senator Mike Lee, again, coming up to bat. You know, I wasn't too impressed with him when he first was nominated, but now I'm starting to see why the decisions were made at the time that weren't fully clear. And I was thinking, man, is he a rhino? I'm not sure about this Mike guy. But I held my breath and I sat back and I watched what has unfolded. And he's turned out to be a true patriot, it seems. And thankful for that. So he's now rejecting all monies going to, I wish we can liquidate Ukraine and what we've sent them and get that money back, to be honest. There's got to be something that can be done there, because, I mean, come on, nobody elected them to fund a war with with what should be our greatest adversary, or our greatest ally, not adversary. I think this is absolutely insane. Two superpowers with nuclear weapons should not go to war with each other. I mean, it's insanity. I understand why they made the choice to hold nuclear weapons. You know, I don't like it personally. I think that all weapons should be eliminated, like nuclear weapons. But here's the thing: there's too many people out there that are not. They don't have the spark. They don't have righteous spirits, and they want control of. They want power and control. So, you know, unfortunately, weapons exist for that reason, to prevent total calamity. So there's no reason why two superpowers should, with nuclear weapons, should want to go to war with each other. It's absolutely insane. And I see, you know, a lot of different news streams, and I've watched a lot of translated videos from Russia, and I see that they don't want this. They don't want to be in a war with Ukraine or with us by proxy. There needs to be peace talks. It needs to end. Too many lives have been lost over the last 30, 40 years, and it needs to end. Each one of those lives lost impacts a family in such a powerfully negative way that those ripples of that energy, they transcribe to the entire world. You cannot drop a rock in a pond without making ripples across that entire pond. And war, unfortunately, brings so much pain and heartache and destruction of the human spirit in ways that people can't even comprehend. It needs to end, in my opinion. Sorry, I get fired up with that stuff. It just irritates me, you know, to see so much suffering. It needs to end. All of it needs to end. Peace talks couldn't come fast enough. And this administration taking office couldn't come fast enough. So unless there's any other questions, I know there is some people watching. Give me a shout out as to where you're watching from. That would be awesome. I see that Freedom Suzanne is from Oregon. Welcome. Yeah, I've been talking the whole time. Anybody have any input? Please comment below. Otherwise, I will wrap this live stream up, and I appreciate you all for coming. And I'll play us a video out in that time. Let me give this a couple more minutes to see if anybody has anything to say with regards to what we covered tonight. Daytona Beach, Jane, thank you. Thank you for joining our group. I appreciate it. And yes, you're a true patriot. Awesome. Suzanne, I don't doubt that. Thank you. Thank you for visiting. Thank you for participating. And thank you for being a part of our channel, Red Pill Pharma. Also, I want to encourage you guys down there in the banner. You'll see that we have a Rumble page. If you go follow us over there, that'd be awesome. I appreciate it. You know, I do have a YouTube page as well. It's called Awaken ER, but nobody seems to go on there. So I've kind of switched to Rumble anyways, because I think that that is going to be the future for freedom fighting people to have a voice and not be censored. But hopefully all of that goes away soon as well. Another comment. I want to run for governor of Oregon. What? Yes. Oregon needs some help, man. You can start right there in on the coast, or I'm sorry, in Portland. Portland. Oh my gosh, Portland has fallen. My thoughts on the Bronson brothers. I'm unfamiliar. Please let me know who are the Bronson brothers. I'll do some research on it. The Bronson brothers. Let me Google that. Bronson or Brunson? Let me try that again. I'll go to Perplexity. If you guys haven't tried the Perplexity search engine, it's pretty cool. Rachel introduced me to it. It is AI. I mean, unfortunately, everything's going towards AI. I mean, even our normal apps now have like an AI assistant. It's like, no, I didn't want that. Why is that there? Is it watching what I'm doing? It's weird. Bronson. Bronson Brothers is the name that can refer to different entities or individuals depending on the context. Here's a few examples. Bronson Brothers film, music, business. Not sure what you're referring to, but I will look more into it. I do see, I don't know, it looks like an album. I don't know. Is it an album? Is it a band? Sorry, I need more context. Also on X, if you want to follow us over there, if you are on X, and I do plan on doing more productions with surfing on X, and that's basically where I go on to X with my algorithms, right, as Red Pill Pharma, and the information that gets fed to my algorithms, I surf that, and I go through it, and I record it, and then I share that as a video on our Facebook channel, because they get pretty upset when you share tweets directly onto a Facebook channel. They don't like that, and they tend to pull them down or fact check them, or they just don't like it. So I figured by creating a show where it's an actual interaction of me going through my X account, I'm able to share my algorithm with you and show you what I'm being fed. I think it's important to share our differing opinions. That's why we exist as humans. We're not all, like on a hive mind. We all have individual thoughts and perspectives. And if we gather other people's individual thoughts and perspectives, it inherently gives us all a broader perspective of our current reality. That's why we are encouraged to share and learn from others. So, that's why I wanted to host this show. And that's why I started talking to you all publicly. I'm not normally somebody who would do this kind of live stream or show. I just don't. I have my close circle of friends, and we have brilliant relationships. We get along and we communicate on deeper levels. And I always meet new people and encourage them to do that as well. And I build really strong relationships by being transparent, open, and more of an intellectual. So I was encouraged to share that with other people, and it's one of the reasons why I started Stream of Consciousness. I don't always come prepared on a show. I like to kind of just talk about what I'm seeing in real time with those of you out there listening, and share. And I'd like to hear your perspective on what I'm saying too in the comments. And I think it's important for us to open up and communicate with each other and share each other's perspective. That's what this channel is all about. And that's what Red Pill Farm is about. I want to share things that help awaken the consciousness to a higher level, to understand more of what's going on in our reality and how it's directly impacting us or indirectly impacting us, and what we can do to bring change to that, or to address things that need to be hit in the source. Right? We need to go to the source and not just treat the wound in everything that is a negative impact to us in our world. We need to go to the source of why it's happening and then change that so it doesn't happen anymore. It's like, springing a leak in a pipe. You gotta fix the leak, right? You got to fix the source of the problem. And, I look at the media and social media and, our current reality as being a stream running through time. And unfortunately, the media for so long has controlled the direction of this stream through their influence, through what they want us to know, what they want us to do. And people are breaking free from that matrix, right? That's why they say the matrix, this is the matrix. What it really is our collective stream of consciousness was controlled by the mainstream media and by Hollywood and by social media and all these other influencers. And they kept leading us towards paths that weren't, that were restricting our freedoms. And I think to a point, we were willing to give up some of our freedoms for liberty. And unfortunately, they've just taken more advantage of that. So what's happening now is their system is collapsing because social media has allowed us to research beyond fed narratives. And this research has awakened the human species. We're all awakening up to the control mechanisms that have been in place for a very long time, and have really kind of fractured our minds into the directions they want us to believe and go. And I think to a point, many of us woke up a long time ago. Many of us have never really fully fallen under their spell. And then others are coming out of the spell completely and just going, what is really going on, right? And if you're any one of those people, you're welcome here on this platform. You're welcome on Red Pill Pharma to share your perspectives, your ideas. Some people are very offensive, and some people are going to say things that are inflammatory or disrespectful, and many of those I'll address personally myself. Some go through the cracks, unfortunately, and then others, I if it comes down to harassment, I have to ban them, and I've banned many people. And most of what I ban are spammers, like bots that come in and start spamming, like, oh, hi, you're a really interesting person. Will you please follow me? It's like, no, I'm deleting you and I'm banning you, and I'm banning all of your future accounts so that you can't come back in here and just try to take people over to your OnlyFans site. It's ridiculous. So, Final comments. Anybody have anything else they want to say? Somebody like my shirt. I'll wear this in public. It's funny. It gets reactions. People are like, "Oh my God, that's amazing," or some people are like, "Oh," rolling their eyes. It's almost like a red hat. But you start to see who people really are, and most people love it. By the way. Okay, so I appreciate everybody. I think we're going to just keep this right around an hour. I'm going to share a couple videos, and then I will close out. So thanks again, and everybody have an amazing night, and I will be back with you again soon. Signing off.
They tried to censor us. They tried to cancel us. We lost jobs. We lost friends. We lost family. We got called conspiracy theorists. But then we realized that we are not alone, that others were also seeing what we were seeing, that we weren't crazy. So we started to speak up one by one. We showed others that it was okay to speak the truth. We stopped being afraid. We found new friends. We found new purpose. And many of us realized what was happening was bigger than just us. Many of us have gone through our own dark night of the soul the past few years. This dark night existed to help us shed false parts of ourselves and return us to our true selves. Many of us have gone through a rebirth process lately. America and many other countries in the world are also going through a rebirth too, because as within, so without. It has a purpose. The night is always darkest before the dawn, and instead of your great reset, you're having a great awakening.
Washed over me, till I let the love wash over me every day. is a gift